Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate or any holidays. I am here to do a new video on my 2022 goals. We are almost in the new year. I cannot believe this year is almost over. It flew by. But yeah, I thought I would just go ahead and share with you guys what my goals are for the next year. This year has flown by. It's been a crazy year. Honestly, going into 2021, I feel like I didn't really have a set goal plan. I just kind of wanted to like flow with the year. But next year I have a lot of goals and a lot of things I want to accomplish. And I feel like this is the first year that I feel really confident and set in my goals. They came to me so easily. They're things that I truly feel that I want, not just things that I think I should strive for. And it makes me really excited for what's to come in the new year. So if you guys are looking for a little bit of motivation, maybe some goal setting tips, I'm going to share some of the ways I like to do my goal setting. So if you're interested in that, just keep on watching. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to just go ahead and show you the planner I'm using. It is a planner that I created. So it's just got like a year overview. We've got some important dates to remember. And then each month has a monthly overview. And then you've got your weekly, weekly planning log. We've got some to-do lists and priorities section, and then you've got like a habit tracker over here for a 30-day habit tracker. And then they all have a brain dump. So I'll link this planner in the description if you guys are interested in getting one. But I just went ahead and wrote down my goals in the back here because I have some lined paper back here. These are my goals, a little sneak peek. But we'll just go ahead and jump in. So one of the first things I did, and this is kind of all I did for 2021, is I came up with a word. I don't remember where or why or how I heard about this, but I feel like a couple years ago, I saw some other people talking about, instead of setting specific goals, coming up with a general word of something that they were going to focus on for the year. And so I've tried doing that pretty much every year since then. I feel like for the last 2 years, that's kind of what I did. So for this year, my word was present. I wanted to be present in the moment, present with my family, present with myself, present in all aspects of my life. And I feel like I was. I actually do feel like I was really present, but I also didn't have any specific goals that I was striving for this year, which was fine, honestly. Like, the year just was what it was, and that's kind of what I was expecting anyways. But next year I have some big goals, and I'm very excited for next year. And I feel like I don't know, I feel like having goals is a good thing. It gives you something to strive for, something to look forward to, something to work towards, gives you a bit of a purpose. And I feel like maybe I was lacking a little bit of that this year, and so I feel like I probably could have accomplished more than I did. And again, it's fine that I didn't, but I am very excited for the next year. So my first thing I did was come up with my word for the year, and my word for 2022 is consistency. I feel like I'm lacking consistency in all areas of my life. I feel like I know what I want. I know what I want to accomplish. I know what I need to do to get there, and consistency is where I am lacking. I will focus on something for a little bit and then I just fall off, and I feel like a lot of us can probably relate to that. So that is my focus for 2022 overall, is consistency. And when I get into my goals, the way that I do my goal planning is I like to split it up based on categories. And so when I'm going over these, I did also come up with a word for each category, honestly, just because they came to me. I was just writing down my goals the other night, and then like words, just like when I would get to the category, a word would just pop in my head. And like, I'm telling you this, for some reason this year, like, it was so easy to write my goals down. It wasn't something I really had to think about. I knew what I wanted, and it makes me very excited. So overall, for all of these categories, I'm focusing on consistency, but then I'll also get more specific in each category. So let's go ahead and go into the first category. So for me, that is health. And the word that came to mind when I started to come up with my goals for health was balance. I think that I just need balance in my health. I'm the type of person, I've dieted before, I've focused on weight loss before, I've focused on fitness and strength training before, and like I'll focus on like one area here or there and I'll go all in, and then usually I'll fall off. And so I think what I'm lacking is just balance. And I don't just mean in my physical health, but my mental health, just overall my health in general. So some specific goals I set to reach this overall goal of balance is that I want to incorporate more fruits and veggies into each of my meals. So basically I was just kind of thinking of areas that I was lacking in, and I'm trying not to take things away. I'm trying to see what I can add. And so I noticed that I can add more fruits and vegetables to my meals. I'm definitely lacking in that area. I tend to not think about them when I'm putting the food on my plate and stuff. So that's one area that I saw that I could improve. So I'm going to try adding more fruits and veggies, and in turn, I'll have more of a balance when it comes to my diet. And then for working out, I put on here, find ways to move that I love. So again, I will a lot of times pick like a specific workout program or a specific workout style, or I'll be really into cardio or really into strength training, and I'll just like do that over and over and over again until I'm basically burnt out, and then I'll just completely stop doing anything at all. And something I started doing this year is I started going on more walks. I was walking my dog a lot, playing outside with my kids. My daughter and I both got rollerblades earlier in the year. I haven't done it recently, but I was rollerblading with her earlier in the year. We really like hiking, which I need to get back into, but there's just a lot of physical activity that I really do enjoy that I haven't been doing. And so I know just by incorporating those things that will benefit me and have an impact on my health. And then I also put on here, meditate. I haven't been consistent. So again, we are going to be consistent this year because I have meditated this year. In fact, I've been meditating for the past couple years, but it's very sporadic. Like I'll have 1 week where I meditate every single morning, and then I'll just have like a few weeks where I don't do it at all, or it's just very sporadic. So I consistently want to put in the effort to meditate on a daily basis, even if it's just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. I want to do that because I do truly enjoy it, and I do see a difference when I do it. And so I know overall that will benefit my health. I also have on here drink water, which is something that's on here every single year. I think we all can relate to that. And then self-care. So I want to get more consistent again with taking care of myself, focusing on myself, making sure I'm taking care of my hygiene and giving myself breaks when I need breaks, and doing all the things that I need to do for myself, which I have been doing a lot better at recently, but I just want to be more consistent going into the new year. So that's pretty much it for my health goals. I feel like those things combined will bring balance to my health. And so for the next category, I put on here finance. So finance is something that I have on my goals every single year. It's one of the categories I always have, but usually on my finance goals, it'll be like save X amount of dollars, or it's just a very general goal, honestly because I feel like I need one. But this year, finance, I've been very excited about finance. I've been learning a lot about finance. Our personal finances have changed, and our budget has changed because my husband had a complete career change. He recently got out of the military. We moved. The place we moved to is much more expensive than places we've been before. So all around, our entire financial situation has just changed. And so because of that, I've been focusing on our budget and trying to figure out, just adjust to all of these changes. And in turn, I've learned a lot, and it's made me very excited for our future when it comes to our finances. So my focus, or my word is focus. And I don't mean like to focus all my attention on my finances. I mean, just when it comes to my finances, I want to focus on the things the goals that I'm trying to reach. I want to keep them in mind, I guess, be intentional to some extent. So My first goal for finance is to make and stick to a realistic budget, which I actually have already made a budget. And when I say realistic budget, in the past, I feel like I'm not alone in this, but I would exclude things that I knew we would spend money on, but in my opinion, we didn't do it very often. So I was like, oh, well, we'll just worry about it when we get there. For example, clothing. We don't really buy a ton of clothing. Like, we'll usually buy clothes like before school starts, maybe for Christmas, for birthdays, things like that. But it's very like specific times, unless obviously we need something, then we'll go get it. But like, I never budget for that. So things that were more of sporadic purchases or things that we didn't spend on a monthly basis, I just didn't really budget in. And then like car registration, oil changes, HOA dues that are due like once a year, things like that. Like, I knew we were going to have to pay for it. And so I always had the money for it, but I would have to like pull it from my savings or save a little bit extra for a month in different areas to make up for it, or I would put it on a credit card. So this year, I put that all, I included every single expense I could think of that we spent, regardless of how often we spent it. I calculated how much I thought we spent a year and then broke it down monthly. And then what I'm doing is I have a separate account that I created that I'm putting money into that is for those specific expenses that we don't use very often. So that way when it does come up, we just take it out of that account. So if you guys are interested in seeing like a more specific budget video, let me know, because I love finance, I love budget. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know like the proper way of doing anything, but just like personally, I just love budgeting. I don't know. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. But the next one is invest as much as possible. So prior to this year, to be honest, I didn't know much about investments at all. I had a 401k when I used to work, and that was kind of the extent of my knowledge as far as investments go. That was never really a priority for us. Like, any extra money, I would always just put into a savings account. I didn't really do anything else with it. And so now I'm starting to learn the value of like IRAs, and my husband has a new 401k with his new job, and HSAs, which I had no idea what an HSA was. So I'm just learning so much, and we've come up with a plan on how we're going to invest. I want to continue to learn about taxes, investments, and business. My husband and I want to start a business this year. And then my last finance goal on here is that we are going to buy a house this year, actually within the next few months. So that is my last finance goal. And then moving on to the next category, we have family. My word for this category is intentional. So I've got on here that I want to do more weekend outings. We used to go out pretty much every weekend and explore and do something. Like I said, my husband was in the military and we moved a lot. And so I feel like for a while, every year we were in a new place. And so we would go out and just explore all the new areas, and we just moved here. And so I just want to start doing that again and going out and doing more stuff on the weekends. We still do a lot on the weekends, and I still obviously want to have like relaxing weekends where we do nothing, but I just feel like we kind of stopped really trying to do that. It's just like when it worked out, it did. So I want to be more intentional about that this year. I also put on here nightly walks. For a few months after we got here, we are currently in a townhouse and we don't have a backyard. If you watched my videos in the past, we had a house in Georgia that had a pretty large backyard. And so when we moved here, unfortunately, our dog couldn't just go out by himself. So we've been doing a lot of walks, and we got into a good habit of doing a nightly family walk for a little while, and then it just kind of stopped. But I really enjoyed those. I feel like the family for the most part enjoyed those, and it's just a good way for us to get outside and kind of wind down for the night and get a little exercise. So that's something else I put on here. I also have that I want to go on at least 2 vacations this year. So we have, we've kind of gone on we've gone on a vacation every year, but like they'll be like a couple hours away, which isn't necessarily bad, and we might still do that this year, but I feel like they're always just like a really last minute quick little getaway, because for the most part, up until a couple years ago, when all of the other stuff started happening, we would take like our big trip, I guess, would be to go back home and see family, because since we were a military family, we moved away. And so like around Christmas time, Thanksgiving, sometimes summers, that's when we would take like our trip back home. And so then we kind of didn't really prioritize vacations. But now our kids are both older. Our son is going to be in high school next year. Our daughter is older now, so it's easier. And there's just no reason not to go on family vacations. So I really want to be intentional about planning at least 2 family vacations this year. And then I also have on here visit family in Vegas. I put that on here too because I also do want to visit our family, and it's been about 2 years since we've seen them. And my nephew is getting so big and we really want to see all of them. So I put that on here as a separate thing, because if we just focus on like one trip, it's going to be just our trip to go see our family. And again, I really want to have vacations. So I put them as separate things. I want like 2 family vacations and at least seeing our family at least one time this year, maybe even more, but at least once this year. That is the goal. And I really want to be intentional about trying to make that happen this year. And then I put on here also date nights with my husband. We were in a really good routine before we moved. We would go on date nights pretty much once or twice a month. We would go out, and then every Saturday we would alternate and like take each other on a date. It would just be at home, so like watching a movie or playing a game or just anything. And honestly, when we moved, we just kind of stopped prioritizing that. So that's something though that I've been missing a lot, and I think it's really fun. It's really good for us. And so next year I want to be more intentional about doing that again. Maybe not every single weekend. I feel like maybe that was a little too much, but at least multiple times a month. And then also we need to start getting out again more, I think. Like we kind of stopped going out, obviously, when things kind of shut down, and then we just never started doing it again. But I feel like that's something we should be more intentional about this year. So that is something we're going to be working on, is at least going out on a date. I would say once a month is my goal. So that is all I have for family. And then the last category I have on here for 2022 is business. Like I said, my husband and I have been discussing starting a business. In fact, he's already kind of started the process. We're both very excited about it. I'm excited that we're doing it together. As I mentioned in my wrap with me, I have a lot of little side hustles that I've done, but this is different. This is going to take a lot more of our time and focus, and is something we're doing together, and I'm just very excited for it. So my word for this one is optimism. I tend to be a little more safe when it comes to like business endeavors, investments, that sort of thing. And my husband is very is a lot more willing to take risks. Anyways, he's more willing to just jump right in. And so when he first brought up his business idea, I instantly, like shut it down. I was like, no, we can't do that. That's too much. But the more that I'm trying to be more optimistic and realize like we never know if something's gonna work out if we don't try. And I don't know, my mindset has changed a lot this year, and I'm excited to see what comes out of this. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I think it will. And it's something that my husband's super excited about. And so just for that alone, I'm excited for him, and I'm excited to do it with him. And like I said, it's different from many of the other things I've done, because all of those have just been little side hustles on my own. And this is something we can fully do together. So our goals for that, or my goals for the business, is to work with my husband to operate a business that we enjoy. So it is something that we will both find aspects in it that are fun. And so I'm really excited for that. Learn about business and taxes, which I kind of brought up in the finance category. I want to learn more about business and taxes. Fun fact, but I have my degree in business, so I have like a general knowledge in like business and accounting and all of that stuff, but I want to really come to a full understanding of how the taxes work and all of that. And then my big goal for our business is to make at least a $5,000 profit by the end of the year. So that would mean that we've covered all of our expenses and then made an additional $5,000, which I think is a very good, realistic goal. In fact, it probably could be more. This is probably me being a little more reserved because that's just how I am, but that is my goal, and that is all that I came up with for next year. Like I said, these all just came to me really easily. I didn't really feel like I had to think about it or like try really hard to come up with goals. Like, these are things I truly want, truly think I can accomplish. I know we can accomplish them, and I'm very excited to see where the next year takes us. So I hope this was motivational for you guys. If it was, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.